Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
The Wall Street Journal just reported that the Justice Department told Donald Trump back in May his name is in the Epstein files. What happens now? What happens now? Donald Trump sends his personal criminal defense attorney over to Ghislaine Maxwell and offers her a pardon if she lies for him. Yeah, sounds about right. Then she suicides herself out of a window. The NYT emails me a breaking news message. And that'll be the end of it. I hate how I've been waking up to a different one every day for months on end now. Each one would have absolutely destroyed any politician's chance at a career 10+ years ago. Bill Clinton must wake up every morning and yell into the mirror. Apparently Trump tries to arrest Obama and get The View cancelled. And the Kennedy Center Opera House is gonna be named after Melania, and Congress is on an infinite vacation, and hey, did we all see that Coldplay thing, and oh, they released MLK Jr.'s FBI files. Wow, I'm so distracted by all this I totally forgot about the raping of kids and cover-up of a pedophile ring with the sitting US president as a major player. Nothing, yup, nothing. POTUS is a rubber stamp, so is the FBI. Yup, Secret Service and FBI couldn't even figure out who brought coke into the White House. I assume at some point he'll start a nuclear war to distract from it. Definitely the kind of guy to kill millions to protect his own ass. Sadly, you were probably spot on. The US starts WW3 in 2028. Trump suspend elections in November 2028 because of declared state of national emergency as a result of being in WW3. January 20, 2029, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Trump's second term ends per 20th Amendment. No president-elect gets sworn in. Trump refuses to leave office and creates a constitutional crisis. Supreme Court rules on the 20th Amendment finds some way to keep Trump in power, e.g. call him acting president until elections can be held. Elections are never held. Trump dies in office at the age of 98 in the year 2042. He stopped USAID, which is going to kill millions. That wasn't even to save his own ass, it was just so he could pay less in taxes. Killing USAID has nothing to do with taxes. Trump is funded by Russia, Peter Thiel and Heritage Foundation, who are all intent on destabilizing the United States' hold on the world. USAID might do good works, but that's completely secondary. It is the United States soft power, the carrot to the military's stick. Without USAID soft power, the United States has given up massive influence on the world stage, and done so intentionally. Tulsi Gabbard goes back to the WH press room to strenuously emphasize that the Russians had no involvement in election interference and Obama did it. He did it all. He's a small-brain traitor and not born here, and in the Epstein files. Oops, she wasn't supposed to mention Epstein at all. Caroline will have to cattle prod her. I've seen some people saying they want Tulsi to run in 2028. I feel like I'm living in a virtual reality world and I hate it. Who in the world are those people? Can they form sentences? We already knew he was in him from the evidence produced in the Maxwell trial. We already knew he was in him from the fact there are more photos publicly available of Trump with Epstein than there are of him with any of his children. I mean, that's probably for the best. Nothing. Trump gets away with everything. We are a lawless country. We have known for literal years that Trump's name is in the files. This is not new information. The only thing that's happened since that revelation was that Americans elected Trump president. Yeah, I haven't understood why this has been blowing up recently. We've known for so long he's in those files. Why are people acting like it's a new revelation or will change conservatives' minds? MAGA weirdos put their heads in the sand and scream, Obama, until they fall asleep. Until recently Hillary was still living rent-free in their heads. She still is. Normally the president would resign rather than be distracted by the scandal or bring shame on the country. However, Trump ran for office this time just to stay out of jail. Do he want resign? And Republicans in Congress won't impeach him because they're either afraid of his base or think that it's worth it to let Trump get away with an unknown amount of child rape and molestation if they get tax breaks and migrant concentration camps out of it. The news cycles have become much shorter now, so politicians learned that they can just sit out whatever scandal they're involved in and nothing will happen. Trump will very likely end his term normally if not for some health reasons. We don't drop it. Keep it in the news, keep it live. Make and share memes until Congress is back in session on September 1st. I imagine his first official act upon being sworn in the second time was to write himself a presidential pardon, a get-out-of-jail-free card for any and all actions that he's ever done, which the Supreme Court will likely decide was within his official power to do at the time. The number of posts I've seen online lately by MAGA Republicans trying to morally justify pedophilia is unbelievable. I genuinely just saw a comment from some old bint arguing that, so what if he fucks kids, everything else he does is awesome, so it's worth it. These people have no brains, and no shame. I genuinely just saw a comment from some old bint arguing that, yeah, I ain't repeating that. What, and I cannot stress this enough, fuck. And I've studied psychology. I know how cult mentality works. I know what happens in brains. I have studied the law. The research about doomsday cults and how people double down. The cognitive dissonance. How minds become accustomed to extremism and being in an isolated group of like-minded individuals leads to fundamentalism. But still, what the actual fuck? To be fair, what Trump is accused of, molesting and raping a 13-year-old, is exactly the same what most 70-80ths rock stars did weekly during their tours. And people still glorify these people, they are still in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and some are still touring the world. Some rock stars even took guardianship of these teens so that they could travel with them across state borders. There are even interviews in which certain rock stars brag about fucking 13-year-olds on tour. And nobody cared about the poor girls who were abused by people in high power, and people will continue to idolize the stars because they like their music. So it's understandable that some Trump supports also don't care in a similar vein. They line the brand, they like the politics. What Trump does to other people, abuse, rape or even murder, they don't care as long as it doesn't interfere with their agenda. Riche up the pressure, let's see if Orange Lard's heart can take all the pressure. Honestly, that's our best bet to rid ourselves of this cancer. He's already being propped up on amphetamines and steroids if you ask me. Propped up on amphetamines. Sources from the first administration say that Adderall basically was free-flowing in the WH. This isn't too far off, especially considering people were comparing his energy level on Inauguration Day on his second term versus Biden. He's clearly hopped up on something. Like a certain other dictator, the doctor can only prop him up with so many meds before it's over. Unfortunately, probably nothing. If we're lucky enough, people will get disgusted and pissed off that maybe something will happen, but I won't be holding my breath. The people who have the power to hold him responsible, Congress, won't. You mean Republicans? What happens now is nothing. His supporters rally around him and call it all fake news. The rest of us hope for an absolute insane wave in the midterms, but I'm not even sure there's enough pedophile protectors whose seats are up for re-election that would enable him to be impeached. So, he's just gonna lash out and try to prosecute Obama to make his base happy and hope everyone forgets he raped children. Not a damn thing. It's all just smoke. He will never be held to account for anything. Nothing. Google, dictatorships. I hope they release the info. We already knew he was on the flight logs. So were Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew. Being on flight logs doesn't necessarily mean they were involved, but it means they should be thoroughly investigated. Anyone involved in sexual exploitation of minors deserves to be in prison, I don't care who it is. We need proof that they were involved first. Flight logs and money transfers to Epstein's accounts. Follow the money. Nothing. MAGA will simply drop the pedophile narrative now. It's clear that their own side is most implicated, and they'll move on to some new excuse to vilify the Dems. Time is the only bullet Trump won't dodge. The pedophile narrative was mostly a rehash of the homosexuals cannot reproduce so they must recruit, but targeted more specifically at transgender people. They don't actually care about pedophilia. They just want an excuse to murder people they dislike. What happens? Trump will insult the Wall Street Journal in a tweet and say he'll sue them. Obama gets blamed for something unrelated and literally nothing else happens. For anyone keeping track, I have prepared an extensive list of the consequences Trump will suffer as a result of this. 1. Absolutely no consequences at all. Nothing. Nothing ever happens to racists. Look at the Civil War. The idiots in the Union let all of the traitorous soldiers go home and doom the southern states to centuries of stupidity and inbreeding. It led to where we are now, government by racist idiots. Nothing in the near future. The Epstein list isn't a list of names with a time stamp and what underage kids were involved. It's a list of people he had social and business connections with. Your name being in the Epstein files doesn't automatically mean you are guilty of anything. Trump is also very wealthy, so it's very likely he and Epstein were in the same circles, but that doesn't necessarily mean he was involved in anything sexual, which requires more than just a name on a list of people. I believe he was involved though, but you need evidence. Remember that Epstein was a very wealthy businessman who had many business meetings on his island and elsewhere where nothing sexual was involved. It will take a lot of time to process all of this, and it's not like they can just go and arrest him, or anyone for that matter, on this alone. So why the freak out and cover up then if it is no big deal? Question mark. Because I do believe he's guilty, or at least guilty of something that will come to light out of it, so he's trying to stall or halt it. My point was that it takes time to investigate, and being on the list isn't evidence of any wrongdoing by itself. Now the cultists continue to believe whatever convoluted nonsense about Obama they get fed as a distraction. Seriously, go over to the conservative subreddit right now and look for any mention of this story. You won't find one. But you'll see about 10 posts about Obama and Russia. 10 out of 10 posts probably all fueled by bots though. This is what I think about whenever people say this issue is dividing the MAGA base. How I'd love that to be true, but how could it be when they aren't even seeing it? My best guess is we never see what's in the Epstein files and Taco never gets punished. Right now I think the tech bros and the old money repubs are tired of the Taco's volatility with our economy, with his tariffs and pressuring the Fed to lower the interest rate. Right now we're seeing an effort from the oligarchs to get rid of Taco. My guess is they keep releasing more and more info every week. When you see it on Fox News, I believe it's over for Taco. I do believe it's most likely over for him now, but if Fox News starts airing the same stuff that's in the WSJ, it's over. We're in the hurry up and wait stage of this. The oligarchs got their tax breaks, now they are waiting to see what happens come September when the House of Representatives come back from their break. If the public Epstein punchers are connecting, they'll 25th him and install a less chaotic puppet in Vance. Right now I do think the punchers are connecting. Will they be connecting in 4 weeks? 6 weeks? I guess we'll see.